Number 6. The room that didn't exist. The McKinley farmhouse was old, too old for comfort, but the Morris family thought it had charm. Their daughter, Lily, was the first to notice something strange. "There's a blue room upstairs," she said one morning, drawing pictures of it, a room with faded wallpaper, a rocking chair, and a girl with no eyes. Her parents were confused. There was no blue room in the house. But Lily insisted she played there every night. After weeks of odd behavior and sleepless nights, her mother, Ellen, decided to investigate. During a renovation, they knocked down a false wall in the upstairs hallway. Behind it was a sealed door. Inside was a small bedroom, wallpapered in blue. Everything Lily described was real: the rocking chair, the window that wouldn't open, the cold that seemed to leak from the walls. A layer of dust covered everything, except the chair. It was gently rocking, as if someone had just stood up. That night, Lily vanished from her bed. No signs of struggle. Just a faint trail of footprints leading to the sealed door, now mysteriously closed again. The police searched the entire house. But the blue room was gone. Where the door had been was only a smooth, solid wall. But every so often, Ellen swears she hears Lily's laughter through the vents. And in the attic, behind the old mirror, she found a drawing. A child's drawing. Of their house. And in the window of the blue room was Lily, still smiling. Story number 7. The Tree That Whispers Names. Just outside the forgotten town of Dorridge stands a crooked black tree that no one dares approach after sundown. Locals call it the Witherwood Tree, and its legend stretches back hundreds of years, born from the body of a witch who was buried alive beneath its roots. They say she cursed the tree to feed on souls, and every full moon, it whispers names. The names of those who will die next. One autumn, a group of teenagers dared each other to spend the night beneath it. They laughed, filmed themselves mocking the legend. But when midnight came, the wind stopped. The branches twisted unnaturally, and in the stillness, the tree whispered. They each heard their own name, spoken softly into their minds. They ran, laughing nervously. But within a week, one drowned in his own bathtub. Another was hit by a train on tracks that hadn't been active in years. The third simply vanished, his car found empty beside the tree. The last one tried to burn it. But as the fire spread, he screamed. Neighbors said it sounded like hundreds of voices shrieking together. The next morning, the tree stood untouched, and his body hung from its limbs. New names are whispered now. They say if you hear yours, it's already too late. Story number 8. The Haunted Tunnel. Hidden in the woods outside Pittsburgh, long since forgotten by the transit system, lies the McCarthy Tunnel, once a route for passenger trains, now sealed off and overgrown. Local legend says it was cursed after a train derailed inside in 1923, killing over 40 people. But it wasn't the crash that made it infamous. It was what was found afterward. Bodies twisted unnaturally. Faces frozen in horror. No one would speak of what they saw. Decades later, urban explorers rediscovered it. One live-streamed his journey inside. He joked at first, shining his flashlight into graffiti-covered walls. But the signal began to glitch. Viewers watched as his light caught movement, a shadow crawling along the ceiling behind him. Then the flashlight died. Screams echoed. Static. The last frame showed the walls, pulsing, like lungs. His phone was found just outside the tunnel, still warm. He was never seen again. Authorities sealed the entrance with concrete. But late at night, some say you can hear the sound of a train, deep underground, and a voice screaming for help, looping forever. Story number 9. The bed that held a body. It was elegant, carved of mahogany with velvet-lined posts, and came from an estate sale after the sudden death of a reclusive couple. When Samantha and Eric bought the bed, they thought it was a steal, a vintage centerpiece for their bedroom. But on the first night, Samantha woke to the sensation of something pressing against her chest, heavy and suffocating. She turned on the light. No one there. The next night, the mattress sagged in the middle, like someone invisible had lain between them. The air smelled like soil. Eric dreamed of being buried alive. Then came the scratches, long red marks on their backs and thighs. They tore the bed apart. Hidden beneath the mattress was a stitched seam. Inside was a corpse. Mummified. Female. Wrapped in lace. Records later revealed the previous owner had embalmed his dead wife into the bed frame, sleeping with her for years. After discovery, the body was removed. But the hauntings worsened. Samantha began sleepwalking, always crawling back into the bed, eyes wide open, whispering, "She's cold." Eric moved out. Samantha refused. She was found months later, lifeless, clutching the old mattress. Her lips were sewn shut. The bed was destroyed. But every so often, on stormy nights, neighbors claim they hear whispering from the house, asking to come in, asking to sleep beside you. Story number 10. The passenger in the backseat. Jason, a rideshare driver in Arizona, worked the midnight shift for extra cash. One night he got a ping from a desolate stretch of highway, miles from the nearest town. A woman in a long black dress stood at the side of the road. She didn't speak. Just opened the door and whispered, "Drive." Jason, unnerved but polite, asked where she was headed. "Just forward," she said. As they drove, the desert grew darker, the road unfamiliar. Jason looked in the rearview mirror, but her face was blurred, like fog on glass. The air turned cold. The GPS froze. He asked again where she wanted to go. This time, she said, "To the bridge. That's where I died." Jason laughed nervously, thinking she was joking. But as they approached an old iron bridge, she vanished. Gone. No sound. The back seat was wet, as if she'd been soaked. Jason turned the car around, heart pounding. Later, he learned of a woman who drowned under that very bridge in 1996 after being thrown from a car. Ever since, drivers have reported picking up a hitchhiker, who disappears before reaching the bridge. Jason doesn't drive at night anymore. But his dashcam still records sometimes on its own, and sometimes, when he plays it back, there's someone sitting in the back seat, smiling faintly.